Hey folks, what's up? My name is Sir Medieval, and today we'll be talking about 5 things to hope for in regards to the upcoming MMORPG action game coming out in Korea first, Lost Ark. Starting off with number 5, and it's a big one, quote unquote, the only thing that's really worth discussing as well, seeing this game come to the West. Roll credits.
What you say? That it's all for the best.
Nah, just kidding. Seriously though, we need this game to arrive in this region and take it by storm. Kicking it off at number 5 with freedom for the players. With a game of this scale in the vast world of Lost Ark, you may not be getting something such as open world PvP if that's a thing you're looking for, but there should still be a great deal of choices for yourself and your character to draw up your story. Making sure to not limit your player base behind things like paywalls is always an important thing to ensure. I read up on the interview from Smilegate back in April, which features Gang Sung Jeum. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. They expressed a lot of passion for the game, which was good to see, but the team also seems very interested in guaranteeing that the players always have a freeform experience in an MMO to love and enjoy. Hopefully they keep that mentality as well. Next up at number 4 would be decent PvP/PvE content. So with all that's possible to do in Lost Ark, field bosses, dungeons, raids, sailing the high seas for exploration, arena PvP, and battlefields at some point, this is a game that pretty much already has a great deal for the players to enjoy. What's important is that the team of Lost Ark continues to create experiences to keep the players engaged while ensuring a stable experience as well. Smilegate already seems to be filling this quota with regular content updates from the beta to beta, with new raids, classes, dungeons, and balance fixes in as well. If they continue with this type of development throughout open beta/release in KR along with the other version that will be coming to China under Tencent, then when we finally get our Western release, it'll be something truly special to enjoy. In terms of number 3, we'll be talking about good pacing on the storyline and progression. With this one, it's definitely one that's overlooked because most MMOs these days, at least upcoming ones, focus on the in-game experience. And even then, sometimes there isn't enough to hold you over at that point to last you between content patches. They most of the time don't really focus on the storyline too much or finding ways to engage you to get immersed in the world around you. Sometimes you don't even know what's going on in the lore, forget NPCs' names almost immediately after meeting them, or either find ways or are given ways to burst the in-game in the span of days, never really knowing where the time went. Something to consider though is that if your game does have an interesting story and good pacing, you can have a much better chance of retaining a good amount of players that actually play certain games just for the story or mainly for it. If you develop a game with a great immersive experience with a storyline that players can follow and enjoy all the way through, players will be easier able to enjoy the journey towards the end of their destination, rather than only starting to enjoy it at the end, or some not even reaching that point because of the pacing early game. Now the story won't matter as much in Lost Ark for a little while if you don't speak Korean or Chinese, but if we do get a Western release, we can at least hope that they'll deliver on these aspects. The pacing will also be important so you don't blow through everything in the span of days alongside being able to enjoy everything at the end. With the look of this combat system and the features of the game, however though, it looks like it shouldn't be a problem. If Smilegate can give us some good lore, enjoyable storyline, plus steady pacing with content to hold us over in-game, that would be something truly special. Number 2 is one that we can always expect to be good, but forget to wish for until it turns out terrible. Optimization. So often games that can be considered good are plagued with that which simply hinders you from really seeing the beauty of the product. You can't exactly admire those serene flowing rivers if they're moving at 5 frames a second. I think we've all had enough PowerPoints after high school, and I don't think we need them in our games. In regards to this though, Lost Ark is running on the Unreal 3 engine, which has had some highs and lows in the past few years that have caused this engine to now be seen as a dated/cheap choice for companies to use in their game's development, as opposed to Unreal 4, especially when it comes to games such as Mortal Online, which I did love regardless, Bless Online of course, APB Reloaded, and etc. With Lost Ark though, they seem to be expanding onto the Unreal 3 engine, even saying that they could take extra functions from Unreal 4 through self-development, and we wouldn't need to worry about the graphics quality in the future. From the gameplay we've seen so far, it seems to be running very smooth and has been said to have a great netcode, so in this regard we can truly hope while being partly sure that things will look very good in this department, hopefully. And finally on to number 1, something that happens to even the best of companies. Whether it be somewhere down the line when things start to become too overwhelming, initial contract set quotas aren't being met, or even from the get-go these things just go right out the window and the game itself becomes a beacon to generate more revenue out of people dying for a decent experience. And that's honesty, integrity, and hope. Starting off, it's very important that companies remain transparent with their player base. Sometimes community managers can make or break this very concept by themselves, which makes everyone on a staff team look bad. It's no secret that developing a product takes time that you may or may not have to be spending answering questions and comments from a player base all day long, but at the very minimum, it's important to keep a stable connection with the people paying to experience your design. Let them know what's being developed, that you're aware of their cause for concern, that sort of thing. It's also important to be passionate about your work. You'll see cases of game developers these days stating that they want to create games that they would play and enjoy themselves. Doing that, they'll be more inclined to put more effort into everything related to it that they do. That passion is fuel for innovation and something that should always be sought after. From the interview we've seen from Smilegate, they seem determined to bring the players an experience that will last them for years on end, and build a world that they too could log in and get lost in if they wanted. We can only hope they'll hold on to that. Which, speaking of which, hope is something to hope for when it comes to this game as well. Hope that the developers won't abandon it and will continue to deliver us an experience we'll gladly support financially, alongside virtually. Hope that it won't become more about money down the line and start featuring things that players would start considering pay to win. And hope that this will be a place that players can call home. Home to some who have been looking for good MMO experiences for years now to settle down on. Or just looking for the next big thing to enjoy for a while before wandering again. There will be a lot out there, and it'll be in Smilegate's hands to ensure that they can captivate some of them in multiple regions. Godspeed, Lost Ark. Godspeed. So I told you all last week that I would be starting a giveaway for an account capable of joining the open beta of Lost Ark, and today we'll be hosting it. To be entered into this giveaway, all you need to do is be a subscriber and leave a comment on this video about what exactly you're looking forward to most in Lost Ark. I'll be running this giveaway for the first account until September 27th, since I have a Gleam giveaway going on right now until that time as well. I'll announce the winner of the Gleam giveaway and the Lost Ark Open Beta account giveaway on my Twitter around 11:45 p.m. after work, as well as on my next gaming news related video, so be sure to stay tuned for that as well. Thank you all so much for joining me, and I hope you enjoyed, and I also hope you have a wonderful night or day, and I will see you next time. Farewell.